Doing some upgrades here on my Jeeps. Got a HEI distributor, Ford 2100 that we put in. I'll go into that right now. Got some good news, got some bad news. Also doing upgrades on Slumdog right now. I'll show you guys that a little bit. Putting this winch together. I just notched out my 1x2. Put some metal into there, so I had to cut it out. The reason I did that is because this is an issue with our power steering. Gonna go from here all the way across, but the power steering's in the way, so I'm gonna notch it out. I'm gonna weld it into that side, and then once I got that welded in, I'll take this down. You notice I took off the lines, they're hanging down here. So I'm gonna pull these bolts out, put it over here to the side as much as I can, weld up inside there, and then I'm gonna put gussets on that side, all the way around it. So yeah, this is a big problem for us Jeepy guys, you know, flat fender guys who want power steering. You gotta give up, you know, the winch. How are you gonna put the winch? Mostly everybody puts a 8274 right up here against the back here. Weld in the plates and then it's here, but right now the prices 8274s are crazy. Probably more expensive than my whole rig here. So I just went Tractor Supply last year and bought one. I'm barely getting around to putting it in. Just got done welding it all in. See, I welded the back end. It's a good penetration there. Put gussets both sides, here and there. Yeah. Underneath, I got some good gussets too, all the way across. Oh, it's pretty strong, as strong as it's gonna get. Time to paint it, put it all back together, and then go try it out.
Okay, Ernie, here's what I got. If you look at it, it looks like a stock front bumper, but it's not. This right here was actually a 2x4 steel tubing that I've cut out, so the walls are 1/4 inch. I wanted something stronger than stock, and I used the original holes for here and down here with the original mount. These here I bought off eBay, and I drilled and tapped them from the other side. I welded them on here, and then on the other side I drilled and tapped and used the bolts for there for extra strength. and I have a tow bar that fits for both of them. And then what I did in the front here for the fair lead, there's actually 2 aluminum fair leads right here, so I could have the depth out here. And then I just cut all this out, boxed it all in, cut the hole out for the rope, and it works perfect. I made this top plate right here, welded it on. These are the only 2 supports there are, and it works fine. I didn't want anything down here because I just didn't want it low. The winch I'm using is an old M8000 Warren winch. It fit in there just perfect. I'm pretty happy with it. It's strong. I have no problem with it. I didn't have to do no extra bracing or anything in there. So hopefully that helps you out on your next one. And the brace that you used that went from here all the way across, this is probably stronger than that brace itself. So we got a strong bumper with kind of a stock look.
But what we're working on here today, I'm gonna put down a belly pan down there. So this is what we got. Cross members going from engine mount to engine mount, and I got it tied in to that center plate. Gonna weld it up, paint it. 3/16" plate right there. Welded to my factory skid plate. I welded in the bolts that go into the skid plate. Like that. All right, we just installed it, painted it, installed it. Here's the front of it. You can see how it hugs the bottom of that engine. I still got about a 1/2 inch of clearance. Bolts right up to my bottom of my engine mounts, and then bolts up to this piece right here. 3/16 by 6-inch wide plate going down. I welded it right into the skid plate, and then I welded those bolts, the stock bolts that come with it, the square ones, right into there, so that way it just goes up and then comes right back down. Real easy. 6 bolts now, 2 here, 4 down there. So that crossbar up here is above the starter, so when this goes full throat, it's never touched it. It's never even touched this flexi hose here. So let me go to the other side, I'll show you. So that crossbar is way above the limits of the capabilities of this little Jeepies. So if it goes all the way up, it'll hit the starter before it hits that bar. But it's never even hit the flexi hose. So we got that going for us. There's a nice little side profile. Real nice and tucked in right there. I think it looks better than the last one I did for a bad boy. So we're probably gonna end up taking bad boys off and doing this type of thing. It's 3/16, so it's pretty stout. Not as stout as this one. Ties into the front. That's pretty low. Let's turn it around here. Pretty cool. I like it. Let's go test it out. So Bob Boy got a HEI distributor, and I was gonna do it, but I had to send it out. So yeah, so I was out driving it, all nice and happy, and then it started running weird. It's always off time a little bit, had a little bit of a backfire once in a while. I'm always messing with the idle, and I was always messing with the distributor, giving it a little or taking away a little, just to try to get it to run happy. But it was never running happy, but it was running good enough for me, so I would just keep running it over years and years and years. But anyhow, I was driving it on the freeway, and then it was just bouncing around and acting funny, and then I broke down on the freeway. So I called my daughters, they came, and we hooked it up to the flat tower and got it back here. Started looking around and fired it, and then I saw that main pulley, it was just wiggling like that. So I investigated it some more, and I could see that something was not right. So I have a mechanic friend who I took it to, and he looked at it, and what he found was that. So yeah, this is on the crank. Looks like the pin in here broke. So once that broke, it got in there and wiggled around and cracked this. Ended up the pulley being all wiggling around, and well, it wasn't good. So I ended up taking this to him, and I have another motor in the back over there that I wasn't going to use for the parts, but now it's a parts motor because I had to pull this off for him, and he switched it in there. But before that, he goes, "Hey, I'm already in there, let's just change the timing chain." I said, all right, so escalated. So we got that, we got a new fuel pump, and then I said, well, you're already in there, might as well put this HEI in there. So he put the HEI in there. So you're already there, let's put this F2100 in there. So we ended up doing that. So yeah, so this little thing snowballed into this little masterpiece now. So let's check it out. It runs really good. So that's kind of good news, bad news. Bad news, I gotta spend some money, and I ended up having to donate another motor that may or may not have ran. I'm not sure, I never ran it before. I bought it from some guy, he said that it was good, but it would look very crunchy. So I donated that, so now we have a parts motor. This thing has got a clean bill of health now. I was just gonna start cleaning it up. I bought a new air filter for this. I was trying to figure out how to hook that up for the crank. And then I bought a new one of these. I had that thing, and I was test driving it all over the place. We get to delete the resistor here, so because now it's electronic and we don't need the resistor anymore, so it went go straight. So I was gonna redo that. And then the serious bad news that happened is that I lost reverse on my transmission. Bummer. Make me want to cry. So yeah, it's been going for a little while now. I've been noticing it, the transmission, but it's obvious now. I have zero reverse right now on this automatic transmission. Yep, bummer. But yeah, it has fluid. I checked it a few months ago and it was bright red. You see it now. You can smell it. It's toasty. Get that back in there one-handed. So that is the bad news. So now here comes the dilemma now, because I always said if this transmission ever goes out, I'm gonna switch it to 4-speed. But here we are in the here and the now. Do I really want to do that? So I have the parts to do a 4-speed swap, so I might just do that. The positives on these automatic transmission are the ease of use. Man, it's just nice driving, you know, on the freeway or the roads, whatnot. It's just a nice driver. I like to do the 4-speed, have full control, especially if you got that granny low speed, and you can kick it in to whatever gear you want to kick it in. But on the freeway, man, that thing's nice. It's just cruiser, absolute cruiser with an automatic. But I think I might. I don't know, I'm on the fence. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyhow, so that's our dilemma. First dilemma was that. That was beyond my scope to be pulling those pulleys, timing chain. And he was able to figure all that out pretty quick. A couple weeks and it was done. I started driving this around. And then, day before yesterday, I lost reverse. Bummer. Makes me want to cry. But that's the way it goes. It's the way it goes, the way it goes. But let's take a look at this HEI. Let's go back and do the goods. So HEI, I was pretty happy with that. So he was telling me the problem with our little motors here, these V6 Dauntless 225s, so like, you know, they hacked off the last 2 cylinders and it makes it run rough. So the problem is right now is the distributors that we're getting online are all mostly cordons. I went through 2 cordons because I knew it was the distributor, and I went and bought a distributor to replace the old one. The old one was the Delco Remy, and it lasted, you know, a good 8 years when I had it. It was probably from the 70s, 80s when the old man had this engine. But it lasted good, but it was getting all shaky and making the motor run all rough. So I pulled it, put that new cordon in, and the cordon made it worse. So I bought a second one, and that second one worked up until now. So if you're having a problem with backfire and you're doing all this chasing your tail around here, believe me, I know. I've done it to all my motors. And the mechanic guy said possibly, I mean, that it's your timing chain is loose. And if it's not your timing chain, it's your distributor, because the new distributors right now have a lot of play in them. They really don't put, you know, that much effort into them. There's no quality control. And you're not getting a quality part anymore. But we bought this one, and I was, you know, hoping that it was gonna be good, and it turned out really good. You can see down there. Let me go get a flashlight. All right, we got a flashlight. You can see where he grinded down there. Look at the weather. I had this thing covered up, and it's still rusting over there. I gotta put some paint on that. But you can see where that rust point is right there. That's what he grinded out. I think he grinded out a little bit too much, but you can see you can get away with it. You can get away with grinding out a lot of it. So you got full, if you want to retard it or give it more, you've got movement in there. He made sure of that because he grinded out a lot. Yeah, so he grinded some of this power steering area, and then he grinded the front out of that head. You can see where that rust spot is. Yeah, he put it on top dead center, he said, and then put the timing light on it. You can see where my vacuum advance is right here, with the point is sticking up to here. But here you gotta give it more timing. So And when you do that, you gotta eliminate the resistor. So that's why he cut this. There's a better look on this side. But it's pretty sweet. I like it. Now I gotta do that to all the rest of my fleet. All right, got a Ford F2100 on here with the adapter plate on there. CT last year what he had, and that's exactly what I did. He showed me which ones to get and how to do it, so we went ahead and did that. The only issue is this the crank pressure thing here needs to be put in on top. It's a little bit more happier on this engine. I was worried about the height of this closing the hood, but if you get a 2-inch air filter on there, it should work just fine. So that's the good and the bad news on that. Poor bad boy back there. Poor guy. We'll fix him up. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.